Hey, BookTube, welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. Um, so I decided since I already did 2 videos in a row, they were kind of reading updates. I'm gonna do a book tag today. And this was a tag created by Elliot Brooks last year. She just did it again, so I was reminded of this tag, and I thought, it's a good tag to do this time of year because it's all about give. The word, it refers to the word give. It's also, I think she also does, the tag was created with a charity in mind. Like she's going, like it was inspired by a charity she likes to give to. So, this tag basically is questions that have the word give in the title. So, here it goes. The first question number 1, which I don't have an answer for, is what's a book you would give everyone if you could? Again, I don't have an answer for this one because I feel like there's no book that everybody would like. I mean, I know it's a recommendation or a book that you would love to get everybody to read, but everybody's taste is very different, and I always have that in the back of my mind. That's why whenever there's these questions like this, I don't like them because it's like, how am I supposed to come up with a book? Because I'm always thinking, yeah, this is my favorite book. I would love for everyone to read it, but I know deep down everybody wouldn't read it. Not everybody would love this book. My family members have different taste. My friends have different taste. Like my dad is more nonfiction. He doesn't read that much, but when he does, he's kind of more nonfiction. And then my Terry, who I always talk about, she leans towards romance. She's a character-driven reader. She's very particular with what she picks up, and she likes certain historical periods. So it's just, I feel like it's kind of hard to give an answer for that question, for a question like that about what's one that you would give to everybody. And I know they don't have to read it. You shouldn't take it I shouldn't take it so seriously. Just as a friend of mine pointed out when I was complaining about a similar question to this one. She's like, well, it's just the book you would recommend to people, not necessarily that you think everybody would read kind of question, but it is still that kind of question. So I don't have an answer for it. Question number 2. What's a book you couldn't give a rat tiny about? Okay, I feel bad for saying this because, this is a booktube. The first book is a booktube darling, but Margaret Atwood did a sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. I read The Handmaid's Tale. I liked it. I didn't hate it. It was interesting, but I just don't like that kind of literature, like the speculative kind of, clearly there's The Testaments is a sequel where we see what happened to what's going on with the main character now. What has her actions how has her actions by the end of the book impacted this world, and that, by the way, that's the book is called The Testaments, and I just don't really care about it. I never got into the series. I read the book and I don't have an urge to read it again. In fact, I donated my copy. Actually, I might have given it to my mom to read. I don't know. Actually, no, I might have donated it. But it's a fast read, so I got through it quickly, but still, it's just not my kind of book. I'm just trying it because I feel like, it's a popular book on YouTube, and, I feel like I should at least try the book. And I did read it because it wasn't that long. Okay, question number 3 is, given that the holidays are coming up, what's a book you hope someone buys for you? And in parentheses, it's if the holidays passed, when you do the tag, then given that holidays are over, what's a book you wish someone had brought you? And I just went ahead and picked 2 authors that I'm really hoping to get. In fact, to the point where I eventually told my friend Terry, it's like, I kind of basically said, oh, I'm so mad the library and the bookstore doesn't ever have as many books by these authors. Basically, a hit. Even though it's not about the gifts, but, so I said Dickens and Trollope. I've been getting into both those authors, although I've read more Dickens than Trollope. but I want to get more into Trollope. And they only have one Trollope book at the library, and I haven't seen any. I mean, the problem with the Roast Office / Gibbons bookstore is that it takes donated books. So, again, it's about what the community gives the bookstore, and there's no guarantee that you'll find the books you're looking for there, the exact book. And then with the library, it's a small library. Like, I was just telling my friend Terry Blake that the one thing I miss about Waldorf is that library was 2 stories. And it's a big suburban area, so it's not a small community library, and it's not like and the bookstores there are like the one bookstore there is a chain bookstore, so it's Books A Million. So there's a better chance of me getting, like them having more copies of Dickens or getting Trollope there. Although it makes me wonder if maybe Trollope is not one of those popular authors here in America, so there's no guarantee that someone will have his books. But like I said, the library did have one Trollope book, but the problem is it was part of his Barchester Chronicles series, so with the series, you kind of have to, some series you can get away with reading them out of order, especially if it's like a companion series, but with this one, I feel like, from what I've heard, you couldn't, it would be a little risky, because you get spoiled for the other books. So what I ended up doing, I ended up taking that one back to the library, and then I put Trollope, I've started buying his books, and then I've put some of his books on my wish list on Amazon. And they say, I want to read Dickens, and there's a Dickens edition that I really like, that's beige colored, and it has black writing. It kind of looks like newspaper writing a little bit, for the title and the author's name. It's really cool. I really like that edition. So yeah, I'm hoping to get some Dickens and Trollope, especially that particular edition. In fact, I saw the book I chose to have in that edition that I put on my Amazon wish list. I actually saw a mass market paperback version, and I was like, at the Roast Office, I was debating for a few moments, for a second or two, if I should go ahead and get it, because the problem is, there's no guarantee it will still be there after Christmas if I don't get that book. Although it's not a huge deal because it's not one that I know for sure I absolutely want to read. But I still would love to have that book. I'm going to collect as many of Trollope and Dickens books as I can. So that's a long-winded answer. Alright, so question number 4 is, what's the book or series you've given up on? And I hate to say this, I feel bad, but I've given up on the Throne of Glass series. I wanted to read The Tower of Dawn because Chaol was my favorite character, but I don't feel an urge to read the 5th and 6th book. I'm more interested in reading the 6th book, which is Tower of Dawn, but I have no urge to read the 5th book. And I think I waited too long to read it. I should have read it as soon as I bought it, but I was in the middle of other books. I've just lost interest, and it does not help. Unfortunately, this is me proving that I do let BookTube influence me, and I've heard that people have been criticizing Sarah J. Maas more, and they're fun and stuff, but then there's also the fact that she focuses so much on the romance, and I also don't like that it's like, I'm just not as into it anymore, so I'm walking away from that series. I'm trying to think of another series. I can't think of any other series that I've given up on, but I am determined not to give up on too many. I'm always determined not to give up on a series. So, and I hate to say it, but I gotta admit that it's part of, and I don't want to be one of those, people that is like, if the main character doesn't end up with the guy I like, then I'm gonna stop reading it. But it is kind of in there. I did not like that Kale was not the end game, and I feel bad for his character because he gets such hate because of his stupid mistake in book 3 and 4. But as my Facebook friend Kayla said, he's human. He screws up, and his whole mind was influenced that fairies were bad. Okay, so he's not gonna all of a sudden realize that his friend is a fairy and be like, oh, okay, cool, that's awesome. You're not scary at all. It's not gonna happen just like that. You know? And yeah, he may have been a douchebag in book 4, but you know what? He's struggling with this too because he's human. And he's been brainwashed his whole life to believe not everybody can instantly flip a switch and be cool with it, even though, you know, he loves her and everything. It's not gonna be that simple. Sorry, that whole debate just really bugged me so much. I know, which is funny because I'm basically saying that this is a series I'm giving up on. And I put an emphasis because to remind you that's what it's giving tag. But yeah, I mean, I feel a little strongly about that. Okay, so question number 5. Who's an author you wish? What's a character you wish an author would give more time to? Oh crap, this is why I should have planned ahead, and I should have thought about this before, but this is one that I imagine that people would. What is a trying to think. What's a series that I've been really deep in or a book that I've read? I'm trying to think. Okay, well the only answer I can think of is I can't think of a book where I felt that way, but this is the best answer I can come up with. Okay, so in Jane Eyre is from Jane's perspective, and granted, there is a kind of a sequel, a spin-off book, where you probably get more of this character, but because it was from Jane's perspective, I feel like we didn't get a lot of Rochester, and I've always, when you make a male character really intriguing, interesting, and fascinating, and just really mysterious, and the main female character is drawn to him, I'm just like, I want to know more about the male, and I want a story from his perspective. I would be very interested in Rochester's perspective, and like I said, maybe Sargasso Sea. I can't remember the book about Bertha. Maybe that would probably have more Rochester in it, but again, it will be about the crazy wife in the attic. It wouldn't be about him, and I kind of was intrigued by him and would love to get his perspective on this whole situation. I just thought of another one, and that is Alice and Jasper. I would love to get a story about them from Twilight. Yes, I'm talking about Twilight. I was one of the Twilight people who like Twilight. Alice and Jasper, I would love to get more of their story because I liked them over Bella and Edward. I was very intrigued by them. I also wouldn't mind getting a little history about the tribe that Jacob comes from. Like even before that, and we could still include the Cullens in that one because they're really old and they're immortal. So, they're the Native American tribe they come from. I would love to. Jacob's family came from. I would love to know more about about them. Like, so I never really thought about this question before, but I'm sure there's other examples of characters that I wish had been more the star of the story than the main character. So yeah, like I said, this fight should planned ahead. Okay, I got away with it fine the first 4 questions, but not that one. I don't know. Okay. Who's the character? Question number 6. Who's a character you wish an author would give less time to? And I don't have an answer for that because there's never been a character that I feel like there's never been a character that I paid so much that I wish they weren't center of this, that they weren't center. I'm trying. I don't really have an example for this one. I know another example of a character for question number 5. Another character I wish the author had given more time to, but considering the time period when the book was published, that was probably not going to happen. But Katrina Van Tassel in Sleepy Hollow. Oh, another aspect is it's a short story, so they were focusing on the main guy. But I wanted more of Katrina. Like the movie gave Katrina more of a thing, more of a role. Like she was into, they showed her more being into witchcraft and stuff, and she was a stronger character. She still kind of like had that, and she also was a bit of a flirt in the movie, and I feel like she was a bit she was stringing Brom along, I feel like, but not that. I mean, I feel like, granted, I don't think he deserved her, but still. So yeah, that's another answer for question 5 is that Katrina Van Tassel, I wish we got more from her. But anyway, I guess the best answer they can come up with without not giving an answer is Melanie Wilkes. This for question number, back to question number 6. A character that I wish would be given less time to. Granted, she wasn't the main character. I mean, it was all about Scarlet throughout the whole book. But Melanie Wilkes was kind of boring. I did not like her. I mean, granted, she's probably a lot stronger than people give her credit for, than I should say I, because I don't know how other people feel. But I should look about that on Goodreads, see how other people feel about Melanie Wilkes. But, she was just kind of dull and boring and simpering and just one of those, granted, considering the time period, not everyone can be like Scarlett O'Hara. And I will give her points for that she always believed in Scarlett and never believed ill will about her. Would never believe that Scarlett would purposely try to steal Ashley Wilkes from her, or that she would be caught in a compromising position with Ashley Wilkes. So she gets props for that, for putting up with Scarlett and always believing that she's a good person and never even considering her being like all over Ashley Wilkes. So it's very, it's like, girl, wake up. You're really naive to not realizing Scarlett's not a good person. I mean, I love her character, but she's not a good person. She's a witch. But, I guess that makes her a strong character in the fact that she, a good character in the fact that she always has faith in Scarlett. But at the same time, she's boring to me. I mean, again, maybe that's not a good enough answer because she isn't the center of the story, but I mean, she's in there a lot from what I remember. Okay, so question number 7. Yes? I'll be right there. Oh, okay. Alright. I love you. Be safe. Okay. If you had, I hate these kind of questions too. If you had to give up almost all your books, which ones would you keep? Oh, I hate this question. It reminds me of the whole, Kumari based base tag where like you pick the 30 books you'd keep, because she said if there's like, she believes in the whole idea, she is like 30 people should not, I'm trying to phrase this so it doesn't come off because I know it really got people wired up. but the whole 30 books thing that she said, and so there's a tag that says pick 30 books that you would keep. Which at least is 30 books that you have to choose from, but I mean, okay, so far I would choose, if I still had it, I would definitely keep Jane Eyre. Crime and Punishment I would keep. The Secret History I would keep. Harry Potter series I would keep, my first fantasy, hardcore fantasy series. Oh, this is so hard. I would have to choose between one of my Kate Morton books, which would not be easy. I'm trying. Gone with the Wind I'd probably keep. I don't know. It's so hard. This is why. Again, this is Daughter of the Forest. I guess I keep. This is why I don't answer that Kumari tag, because I couldn't decide. Even if it's 30 books, I still can't narrow it down. Song of Ice and Fire series. I can't decide. Dang it. I guess Wizard of my bind up the first handful of novels from the Wizard of Oz series. And I guess so I don't have to keep all my Dickens books. The problem is it doesn't have all of them, but that Barnes & Noble edition, fancy edition of my Dickens novels I'd keep. It's so hard. Okay, I'm not gonna answer this question anymore because I don't know. I never really thought about it. So, what's the best, question number 8. What's the best book or bookish tag, what's the best book or bookish thing you've ever been given? Well, like I said, I like those, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Let's see. This was something I got last year, which is nice, from Terry. It's a scarf that she had knit for me that is bookish because it was inspired by Song of Ice and Fire series. So it represents all the colors of the Song of Ice and Fire series. I still don't know how to wear it. I feel bad that I haven't worn it yet, but I don't know how to. So I really like it because she had it made. It's made. She had it made for me, so that's what it makes it special. Like I said, it was inspired by the Song of Ice and Fire series. Hope that those are the colors, I guess, apparently. So the years I started keeping these were nice. These are those Barnes & Noble ones, collector's editions. It has, this particular edition has the first 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. First 5. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, which is the one that everybody is familiar with because they've seen the movie. So they've seen the movie musical, or they've seen other adaptations. The Marvelous Land of Oz. Which they kind of try to include some of these, I think. Like Daniel Page wrote a series with references some of the other novels. I wonder what Dorothy and the Wizard in Oz what happens in that story. The Marvelous Land of Oz. There was a series that came out a couple years ago that they tried to focus more on the other stuff and expand the story of Wizard of Oz, but it was a contemporary story. It was a modern day Dorothy character coming into Oz. No, I'm not talking about Tin Man. It was not that mini series, but there was a series that came out, and I did not notice this. It's really cool. If you can see it, there's little emeralds. Because actually, if you have not read the book, first of all, the Emerald City is not actually emerald color. You have to wear glasses to see the emerald coloring. And the ruby slippers are not ruby, they're actually white or silver slippers. But when they made the movie, the slippers, they made them ruby color because it was when they started using Technicolor, so the ruby slippers would stand out better than the silver slippers. So they had to change them. But, yeah, so when I started getting these, this is nice. So, yep, so I'm just going to say this scarf because my friend had it handmade for me, and it has to do with Song of Ice and Fire series, so I think that was so awesome for her to have that handmade. And then all these Barnes & Noble fancy editions. And I really should put the other one on my Amazon wish list too, because I do want it. I feel bad because I haven't got to reread the other ones yet. But I'm going to, what I'm going to do, one day when the boys are a little bit older, I'll probably read this to them. This copy. Okay, so next question is, question number 9. What's a book someone gave you that you wish you could give right back? And I don't have an answer for this because there's never been a book that I feel that strong dislike for, or I wish I had not gotten that book. I mean, there probably are books that I've eventually gotten rid of that I received as gifts, but there's never been, because I always make sure, no one's ever given me a book that they know that I wasn't interested in. So, there's never been. Okay, so I don't have an answer for that one. Question number 10. Name a time in a book that a character was given something really meaningful. I'm just gonna go with this because I just read it. Okay, so in Harry Potter book 7, everyone, spoiler alert, Albus Dumbledore passes away in book 6, although that's putting it nicely. He actually gets murdered. And in book 7, he, in his will and testament, he leaves Harry the sword of Godric Gryffindor and the, what was the other thing he left him? Crap, I can't remember. I just read it. It's been a few days, but still, I just read it. What else does he give him? Oh, the snitch. His snitch. Because there is a clue with the snitch. And then he gave Ron the Deluminator, the little lighter, the object that looks like a lighter that sucks the light out of places. And then if you remember, it does something special later on in the series that helps Ron. And then he left Hermione the book of fairy tales, The Tales of the Beetle and the Bard, which is their version of the Wizarding World's version of fairy tales, which I did read. I got it from the library actually, and I read it. So I thought that was kind of and it's because it's a book of fairy tales. It's really quick. It's a really fast read. But I feel like if you're not that I'm telling you have to read this, but it's something, you know, it's part of this world, this universe that J.K. Rowling created. So I feel like check it out. It's fun. It's cute, you know. But anyway, so and that helps her as well, and that helps her be, you know. And if you read the book, you know how that helps her too. That helps her. So those are my answers to the booktube giving tag. I will put if you want to, you can answer some of these questions below, or you can do this tag if you feel like it. I will post the link to Elliot's video with this tag. And if you like this video, be sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already subscribed to my channel and you like it. And I hope you are enjoying your reading, and I will talk to you all later. Alright, bye!